Hi guys, Vinyasa Yoga. So this is my first time doing a Facebook Live, so I'm just gonna stay here for a moment and see if I can work out if anyone else is joining me on here. I'm not sure if I can, where I see that. I hope this finds you guys safe and well, and I invite you to grab any props or a blanket, cushion, anything that may make your practice feel a little more comfy this evening. And looking forward to practicing with you this evening. I am covering for Ali tonight, so it is good to be here. I wonder if this shows me who is on. So hi to you guys who are joining me live, and please let me know if you can't hear me or if there are any technical issues. And yeah, excited to be here. I think this little number up in the corner are the number of people that are here, so welcome. I'm not sure how I actually work out and see who you all are. So for those of you that don't know me, I am Louise, and I'm covering for Ali. So we will get started, and we will start seated this evening. So if you have a pillow, or I'm sitting up on a blanket, just something to give your hips just a little lift there, please feel free to make yourself comfortable. And we will be flowing this evening through the poses. I invite you to listen to your body and honor where you are. No need to push, no need to force. Let your breath be your guide. If at any point you feel that you're holding on to your breath, release out of the pose so that the breath can flow. And really just honoring where you are this evening in this moment. So just take a moment to find your center. You may want to rock forwards and backwards and side to side a couple of times. Just find where center is for you this evening. Root down into your sitting bones, those bony bits of your bottom. Let those be your roots. Really glue yourself to whatever you are sitting on, and from this place allow the spine to grow nice and tall. We'll rest the fingertips to the side, and with an inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. And with your exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And one more time, inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to the heart. It's like someone has messaged me there. 1 second. So we will take that one more time. Hi, Ali. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, hands come to the heart. And this is Anjali Mudra. And mudra is a seal, and Anjali means offering. So really just taking a moment to make this offering to yourself, this time for your practice. Maybe offering this time up for someone or something else. And from this place, just close the eyes and take a few nice deep breaths here. Starting to just really connect with your breath. Inhale and exhale through the nose. With your inhale, invite the breath into the body. And with your exhale, imagine that breath was like a broom, sweeping out whatever came before this moment in time. Allowing you to really drop into this present moment. Just a couple more breaths here. Noticing how your body is feeling right now. Really honoring that place where you are today. Just noticing the flow of your breath. Feel the coolness of each breath. The inhale at the tip of the nose, just Just notice the coolness of the inhale and that subtle warmth of each exhale there at the nose. Just feel into that rise and fall of the chest and the belly with each breath. And from this place, set any intention that you wish for your practice this evening. Think about the kind of energy that you wish to bring to your practice, and also the kind of energy you wish to bring to the rest of your evening. Or maybe day if you're watching this later. Just a few more breaths there. And then releasing the hands back down to the floor. One more time. Let's inhale, reaching those arms up overhead. And this time with your exhale, twist to your right hand behind you, left hand to that right knee. Still keep sitting up nice and tall. Gaze over that right shoulder. Full deep breaths. Take last full deep round of breath there. End of your exhale. Unwind. Come back to center and keep the left hand where it is. We're going to cross the right arm on top of the left. And from here on an exhale, drop your chin to your chest. Soften through the back of the neck and release through the upper back and through the shoulders. Just a couple more breaths. Moving on your next inhale, looking up, lift the arms. An option to either give yourself a hug here with that right arm on top, or find your eagle arms with the palms coming together. Lift the elbows. Send that breath up between the shoulder blades. Couple more nice full deep breaths here. End of your next exhale, release the arms back down to the floor. Moving on an inhale. So just move with your breath, doesn't have to be with my voice. Reach those arms overhead. And on your exhale, we're twisting now to the left. Right hand to that left knee, gazing over that left shoulder. Spine stays long, shoulders soft. Two more nice full deep breaths. End of your exhale, release, come forward, right hand stays where it is, left arm crosses over. On an exhale, chin drops down towards the chest. Again, soften there, cross the upper back through the shoulders, sides of the neck soft. With an inhale, looking up, find either your hug or your eagle arms, palms coming together, or a nice hug there with that left arm on top. Few deep breaths, sending that breath into the upper back. Back of the heart center, this energetic center in yoga of love, of joy and last round of breath, releasing the arms as you exhale. One more time, inhale, sweep those arms up overhead, and exhale, hands come back to the heart. Anjali Mudra. Honoring yourself for making this time for your practice. From here, we're going to come forwards and we're going to set up in our tabletop pose. Feel free, if you like to have a blanket under the knees, please place one there. Be comfortable. Set yourself up, shoulders over the wrists and hips over the knees. We're going to find our cat-cow. So with an inhale, lift the crown of the head, lift the heart, lift the tailbone. And exhale, rounding, pushing the floor away from you, drawing the belly button in and up towards the spine. Inhale, find that cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. A few more times, moving with each breath. Maybe even closing the eyes here to really feel into creating a sense of balance with your breath. Balancing out both sides of your spine. Balancing out the front of the body with the back of the body, that sense of opening there. Last couple of cat-cows here. And then returning to tabletop to all fours. We're going to tuck the toes and on an exhale, float up through the hips, downward facing dog. And take your time, maybe moving, pedaling the feet up and down. You may want to nod the head yes and no. Check, look up towards your hands and check that they are parallel to one another. Gaze back towards your toes. Check that the feet are about hip width apart. Just a few more breaths here in your down dog. And then with an inhale, step the feet together. So you're still in your upward V of down dog. This time the big toes are touching. And we're going to lift the heels, lower the heels just a few times. Just opening up through the backs of the legs. Keep those arms strong, pushing the floor away from you, shoulder blades running down the back. And then we'll walk the feet now mat width. So downward facing dog, but with the legs a little wider than usual. And again, just take a few breaths here, really stretching back down into the heels. Push the floor away from you with the hands. Last round of breath, keep the feet where they are and walk your hands now back. So you're in a slightly wider legged forward fold here and just let the head hang. May feel good to even just sway, rock gently side to side. We're going to take that right hand and take hold of our left ankle. So this left hand can either stay on the floor or possibly extend that left arm up towards the ceiling, getting a little twist here. Opening through the chest. Last round of breath. Releasing that left arm back down, end of your exhale. Cross that left hand now to that right shin. Same thing this side. And that right arm up towards the ceiling. Full deep breaths. Use that Ujjayi breath, that breath with sound. It's like the breath is coming from the base of the throat. Last breath there. And release that right hand back down. And then just take your time walking the hands forward and finding that shape of downward facing dog once again. And now bring the feet back to about hip width apart. Down dog. On an inhale, rock forward, find your plank pose. And with your exhale, lift up through the hips, downward facing dog. Take that one more time. Imagine this movement was coming from the core. Inhale, just gently engage those lower abdominals. Plank pose. Exhale, down dog. This time, inhale, come forward into your plank. We're just going to hold for a few breaths. If you need to drop the knees straight to the floor, of course, please do so. Not extending back through those heels. Pushing down into the balls of the feet. Set the gaze about a foot in front of your yoga mat so the back of the neck stays long. We'll take one last breath there. And then with your exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Elbows stay snug to the rib cage. You can tap the forehead on the floor. Pushing the hands into the floor, tops of the feet on the floor. With an inhale, look up, little cobra. Exhale, lower. We'll take that one more time. Inhale, looking up in your little cobra. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Exhale, lower. And then this time, inhale, looking up into your little cobra. And with your exhale, rolling all the way back to your downward facing dog. Take two more breaths here. Following the thread of your inhale and exhale. At the end of your next exhale, you can walk the feet towards the hands. We're in a forward fold near the top of the yoga mat. Any forward fold that calls to you this evening, keep those knees as soft as you need them to be. You could hold on to your elbows. You could let the hands come to the floor. Possibly if you have a block, you can bring the hands to it. Just find a forward fold that serves you this evening. And let gravity do its thing when you're there. Lengthening through the spine, through the back of the neck. Take a last round of breath. And with your inhale, fingertips either on the floor or hands to the shins. Open up through the chest. Nice long spine. And then exhale, fold back over the legs. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, looking up halfway, lift your heart. Exhale, fold over the legs. And then push down into those feet. And with your inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, join your hands at the heart. Standing up tall, finding your mountain pose. Take a moment, we will throw some balancing poses in a little while. So just taking a moment to really set that foundation. Finding those roots of your feet. You can play with this a little bit, maybe lifting up the heels, lifting the toes, rocking side to side just a couple of times. Forwards, backwards, side to side. And again, tune into where your center is this evening. Feel balanced, feel supported by the earth. Nice strong legs. Engaged core, heart is lifted. Take one more round of breath here. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead and taking hold of the right wrist with the left hand, gently as you exhale, leaning to the left. Inhale, coming back to center. Exhale, releasing the arms back down beside you. Nice full deep breaths. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Take hold of that left wrist, lean to your right. Inhale, find your center. Exhale, arms releasing back down beside you. Interlace the hands behind your back, soften the knees just a wee bit. Inhale, lift the heart, look up, and exhale, fold over the legs. Arms extended overhead to as much as works for you. If you need to bring the hands instead to the hips, please do so. A few more breaths here. Releasing through the lower jaw, softening through the face. And then on an exhale, release the hands down in front of you to that forward fold. Inhale, lift the heart, look up halfway. Exhale, left leg steps back, left knee to the floor. And if you have some blocks and you want to bring them either side of that front foot, please feel free to do so. So we'll just take a few breaths here, hands either on the blocks or on the floor. Releasing those hips down towards the floor with each breath. Knee, toes on that right side facing forward. One more full deep breath. With an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And with your exhale, hands come to the heart. From here, we're moving into a little twist. Hook left elbow outside of that right knee. Stack the hands. Open up through the upper back, gazing to your right. One more full deep round of breath there. End of your exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. And now we're going to step back with this right leg and extend the right leg about hip height. And that foot can be flexed, push out through the heel. If you're feeling steady and stable here, engage the core and extend the left arm. So finding your balancing pose here, like you're being pulled in two directions. Set the gaze on a single point of focus to help with that balance. One last full deep breath. End of your exhale, left hand comes back to the floor, right toes come to the floor, left leg meets right leg, plank pose once again. Drawing in through the core, hold your plank. Taking a last round of breath. And then with an exhale, lowering all the way down through your vinyasa, possibly chaturanga, up dog. If not, coming all the way down onto your belly, finding your little cobra. And on your exhale, downward facing dog. Set the gaze between the toes or between the knees. Release any holding through the neck, through the shoulders. One more breath here. Other side, inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, stepping forward with that left foot, so now the right knee comes to the floor. Back to that low lunge. Use your blocks if you wish. A few breaths here. Check that alignment, that this knee is either in line with your ankle or behind it. Protect that knee. Knee, toes facing forward. One more breath here. And then moving with your inhale, sweep those arms overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart. Moving to our twist. Right elbow outside of that left knee. Gazing over that left leg. Nice full deep breaths. Last round of breath there. End of your exhale, release the hands to the floor. And again, we're stepping back. Left leg extends behind, about hip height, and right arm extends forward. Engage through the core, set the gaze, set your foundation, rooting through that back leg and through that left hand. Last round of breath there. Exhale, right hand comes down, left toes to the floor, right foot meets left foot. We're back to that plank. Drawing in and up, belly button to the spine. Last round of breath. With an exhale, lowering down through your vinyasa. You can bring the knees to the floor if you need to. Lower to the belly. On an inhale, little cobra or upward facing dog. And with your exhale, rolling back, finding your downward facing dog. A few breaths here. And check in. If at any point you wish to skip any vinyasas, please do so. And know that child's pose is always there for you. Use your breath as your guide. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, stepping forward with that right foot. Left knee to the floor. Inhale, arms extending overhead, and exhale, hands coming to the heart. Find your twist. Left elbow outside of that right knee, gazing to the right. Just a couple more breaths here. With an exhale, release the hands to either your blocks or to the floor. Blocks probably will feel good here. Just adding on a little hamstring opener. Inhale, rocking forwards with the hips, and exhale, dropping the hips back. A few times, moving with each breath. Option to keep moving in this way, forwards, backwards. Option to stay back the next time your hips drop back. And straighten this right leg to wherever works for you, possibly even flexing that right foot. And bow the head over that right leg. Even, smooth, steady breaths. Last round of breath there. With your inhale, bending that front knee, low lunge. Kick that right leg behind you. Find your balancing pose. Left hand can stay on the floor if you need it to. Left arm can extend. One last full deep breath. Exhale, left hand comes down. Right toes to the floor. Left foot meets right foot. Hold that plank. Two more breaths. Drawing the belly button in and up. Bum stays down. Nice strong legs, extend back through those heels, and with an exhale, lower down through your vinyasa this evening. Inhale, little cobra or up dog, and with your exhale, rolling back, downward facing dog. Use the breath. Single point of focus, your drishti. Let the mind focus on one point and listen to your breath. With an inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, stepping forward. Right knee to the floor. Inhale, arms extend. Exhale, hands to heart. Twisting to the left. Gazing over that left knee. One last full deep breath. Release those hands down to the floor, to your blocks if you have some. Inhale, rock those hips forward. Exhale, drop the hips back. A few more times. And of course, if it feels more comfortable to have a pillow or blanket under that knee on the floor, please do so. That's the wonderful thing about practicing at home. You can really make yourself comfortable. So next time those hips go back, stay there and play with flexing that foot maybe. Bow the head, chin to chest, soften the shoulders. Moving on your next inhale, bending that front knee, hands to the floor, stepping back to our balance pose, left leg behind, right arm extends, drawing in through the core. One more breath, releasing that right hand to the floor, left toes to the floor, right toes meet left, we're back in our plank. Last full deep round of breath there. And with an exhale, lowering down through your vinyasa this evening. Finding your way back to downward facing dog on an exhale. And as I said before, feel free to skip any vinyasas. This is your practice. Last breath there. End of your exhale, stepping or hopping to the top of your yoga mat. And with your inhale, lift the heart, look up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. Standing up tall again, just settle the breath. Find your mountain pose. We're going to play with a Surya Namaskar A, our Sun Salutation A, so we're going to add on from that. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead and gaze up towards the thumbs. Nice big breath there. And with your exhale, fold forward, bowing to yourself. Inhale, lift the heart, look up halfway. Exhale, find your way back to your plank. And down through your version of Vinyasa this evening. We're finding down dog on an exhale. Move with the flow of your breath and taking 5 full deep breaths when we get there. Set the gaze. Feel into that little lift up through the core, lower abdominals drawing in and up, hips extending up towards the ceiling. And if you need to keep those knees bent, of course, please do so. Shoulders dropping away from your ears. Last round of breath. Remember the plank down dog flow. So imagine a little string was connected to your belly button. On an inhale, rock forward, find your plank. With your exhale, lift up through the hips. Come back to your down dog. Let's take that one more time. Inhale, come forwards, find your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. So this time with your inhale, rock forward, find your plank. And we're going to stay here in plank pose, just a few breaths. Nice full deep breaths. And then we're going to find side plank on the right. So if full side plank is part of your practice, join the legs together and extend that left arm up towards the ceiling. If you wish to take a modification tonight, you can bring that right knee down to the floor, right knee, left knee, right hand, right knee, left leg, and that left arm again can extend up. So wherever you are, just being with the breath, and we'll take 2 more breaths. Great job if you're holding that full side plank. And with your exhale, find your way back to your plank pose. You can hold plank. You may wish to add another vinyasa in there. Meeting back in that plank pose. Take a last round of breath. And then Vashisthasana, that side plank on the left. For full plank, you can squeeze the legs together, roll onto that left side. Make sure that the shoulder and the wrist are in line, and extend that right arm up towards the ceiling. Lift up through those hips. And again, remember that variation. If that knee needs to come to the floor, please do so. Draw in through the core. Last breath there. With your exhale, come back to your plank. Down through your vinyasa. Finding your way back to your downward facing dog on your exhale. We're going to come back to side plank in a minute. So remember that side plank. Set your foundation. Be mindful of the shoulders. Don't move any deeper than feels comfortable. Taking a last round of breath there. End of your exhale. Stepping or hopping to the top of your yoga mat. And with your inhale, lift the heart, looking up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Finding your mountain pose. Full deep breaths. Steady the breath. Steady the gaze. Maybe even taking a single point of focus there to the tip of the nose. And feeling down into the roots of your feet. Feel balanced, feel stable. We'll take a couple of balancing poses here. So right leg is going to be our foundation pose. We're going to find our tree pose, right leg. We're standing on right leg. Left leg can either be like a little kickstand, or if it is safe for you to draw that leg up this evening and you don't feel as though you're going to topple over, please bring that left leg up into that right thigh. Hands can rest at your heart, Anjali Mudra, or maybe extend the branches of your tree overhead. A few more breaths here. Staying softly engaged through the core. And find something unmoving on either the floor or the wall in front of you to set your gaze to. Last breath there. End of your exhale, just bring the hands back to the heart. So we're going to see if we can keep this left foot lifted off the floor. If you do need to bring it down, of course, please do so. Soften this right knee, bend this knee just a little bit, and we're going to cross this right ankle on top of the left knee. So we're in our figure 4 pose. And you can rest the hands still at the heart and just coming forward to wherever works for you here. And if this is not working for you this evening, no worries. Just stay in your tree pose. Take tree pose again. Just a couple more breaths. Pushing into that right foot with your inhale, coming back up to standing. Keep that left leg lifted if you can. Draw that knee in towards you. Maybe your practice allows for you to take first 2 fingers and extend that left leg out in front of you. If not, you can just keep that knee bent. Strong through that right leg. And from here, take one more breath. And then we're going to step back with that left leg, bending that front knee to find our Crescent Lunge. Arms extend overhead. 2 more nice full deep breaths. Feel strong through the legs. End of your exhale, join the hands at the heart. Ground this back heel. Back heel comes down. Front knee is still bent in line with the toes. Toes and knees facing forward. Open the arms long, warrior 2. Set the gaze on those right fingertips. So you're facing the front edge of your yoga mat. The shoulders and the hips are facing the long edge of the yoga mat. Find that focus of a peaceful warrior there. Holding just a couple more breaths. Strong through the legs. Tuck that right buttock under. Take one more breath here. And we're going to move on an inhale and find our reverse warrior. Left hand goes down the back leg. Right arm lifts up and over. Keep that front knee bent, lengthening there through that right side of the body. So soft with this back arm. If you need to instead tuck it around your waist, please do so. Don't put any pressure through that back knee. We'll take one more breath, and we're going to move on an inhale, bringing that right forearm to the right thigh. Inhale, reach that left arm either straight up or possibly overhead. Finding our side angle pose. Get strong through the legs. Nice full deep breaths. And really have intention through this top arm. Reach out through those fingertips. Extend back through that back foot. One more breath there. And with your exhale, release the hands either side of that front foot. Back heel lifts, runner's lunge. Left hand to the floor to your block with an inhale, right arm lifts up. Find your twist. Lunge twist there, gazing towards that right hand. Taking one more full deep breath there. Remember Vashisthasana, that side plank. We're going to find that again on the left side. So if it works for you, kick that right leg back, stack the feet. Find your plank, side plank. Know, of course, that left knee can come to the floor. So just as we did in that previous sequence. Last full deep round of breath. And with an exhale, come back to your plank. Lower down through your vinyasa, finding your downward facing dog on an exhale. Two more nice full deep breaths. Ujjayi breath. Breath with sound. End of your exhale, stepping or hopping to the top of the mat. With your inhale, lift the heart, look up halfway. Exhale, fold over the legs, and inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands come to the heart, and find your mountain pose, Tadasana. So that Ujjayi breath, it's almost as though you're saying, but with the mouth closed. So we start to sense the breath, feel the breath here at the back of the throat. It gives our breath more control. We also have this audible quality of the breath, almost like a soft snore. Not too annoying snore. So finding Tadasana. Other side tree pose. Left leg is our foundation. Right leg coming into tree wherever works for you. Hands to the heart or arms extend overhead. Full deep breaths. Keep the shoulders soft. Keep the gaze on one point. Last breath there. End of your exhale, hands come to the heart. Soften that left knee a wee bit, bend that knee. Cross this right ankle on top of that thigh. Finding your figure four here, hands resting at the heart, and you can flex that top foot. And if this isn't working for you, as I say, repeat tree pose again. Last round of breath there. Nice strong legs. Push into that left foot. And now lift that right knee towards you. Possibly yogi fingers, yogi toes. Taking first two fingers to that big toe and extending and lengthening that right leg out. If not, just hold on to that knee. Keep your balance through that left leg. Finding that strength, that focus, and then stepping back to Crescent Lunge. Arms extending overhead. Same thing this side. We'll take another nice full deep round of breath. End of your exhale, join your hands at your heart. And then drop the back heel to the floor. Finding your warrior two, extend the arms, gazing towards the left fingertips. Reaching out evenly through the back hand as much as reaching forward through the front arm. So Couple more breaths. Strong legs. Left hip, left buttock tucking under here, keeping that front leg nice and strong. And then moving with your inhale, reverse warrior, right arm down the back or coming to the hips, lengthening out of that left hip. Extending and lengthening through that left side of the body. Last full deep round of breath, and then we're going to move on an exhale. Dropping left forearm to that left thigh, right arm extending up or possibly overhead. This active line of energy from these right fingertips down to that right foot. Really spinning the chest open here. So we're not hunched forward in a forward fold. We're really opening through the chest. Heart reaching up towards the ceiling. End of your exhale, hands coming either side of that front foot. Runner's lunge, back heel is lifted. Know where we're going. Vashisthasana, that side plank on the right side. Kicking that right leg back. Or bring that right knee to the floor. Find your side plank. Wonderful, you guys. I know you're doing this with me. Last full deep round of breath in this virtual space. Coming back to your plank, down through your vinyasa, finding your downward facing dog on an exhale. Remember our plank down dog flow. One more time, so 2.5 times basically. With your inhale, use the core, rock forward. Hands and feet, if possible, staying in the same place, plank. Exhale, down dog. Lift up through the hips, use the core. Inhale, find your plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. This time, inhale, find your plank and hold. Strong legs. Extending back through the heels. Heart shines between the arms. Nice long spine. Long back of the neck. Last full deep round of breath. And end of your exhale. Lower down onto the belly. And we will just rest the forehead on the floor. And take a few breaths there. Just softening through the upper back. Releasing through the shoulders. Letting the weight of your body just melt down into your mat here. On an inhale, looking up and sliding the arms forward, Sphinx pose. So take a moment just to line up through the pelvis, draw in through the core, forearms and hands grounding down. Shoulder and elbow in line with one another, or if this back bend feels a little too deep, you can always extend the arms forward a wee bit so you lower down. Shoulders dropping away from the ears. Lift the sternum, lift the chest as you root gently down through the hands and through the forearms. Feel the tailbone extending down towards the heels, lengthening through your lower back. It's a wonderful pose for counteracting any of that slumping or sitting at the computer for too long. So really kind of a counter pose to all that forward folding, hunching over. And I think a lot of us now are spending even more time on screens. So we'll take 3 more breaths here. You can either close the eyes or gaze towards the floor. End of your next exhale. Lower the head down to the floor. And again, just a few breaths here, resting. Let go with the breath. With an inhale, looking up, I'm going to find Shalambhasana, our locust pose. Interlace the hands behind the back. And if this feels deep enough for you, you can stay here or repeat that Sphinx pose once again. If it feels that you can lift those feet, those legs, please do so. Use the breath. As you inhale, lift the heart, lifting up. Nice full deep breaths. Smile. Wonderful, we can be practicing yoga. Last full deep round of breath there, and end of your exhale, release back down to the floor, and you can rest the forehead down, and you may want to bend the knees and just windshield wiper your legs side to side just a few times there, releasing any holding and tension through the lower back. And then hands under the shoulders, tops of the feet on the floor. With your inhale, look up, little cobra, and with your exhale, rolling all the way back to your downward facing dog. We'll take 3 more nice full deep breaths here, lengthening through the spine. End of your exhale. Bring the knees down to the floor. We're going to find child's pose. Take the knees as wide apart as works for you. Drop the hips back to the heels, and you can bring your head either to a block, to the floor, or maybe to your hands. If the head doesn't come to the floor easily, stack your fists and rest the forehead down. We want the head to be supported by something, really just releasing all that effort there, that the weight of the head down into the floor or into your hands, so that you can soften through the back of the neck and soften through the shoulders. In this little cave of your child's pose, just looking inward and being with that thread of your breath. Maybe just rest your attention back on whichever intention you set at the beginning of practice. Just holding that intention there, your mind's eye. And the breath is this wonderful bridge between the unconscious and the conscious. You're really trusting whatever comes up for you. Taking one more breath there. With an inhale, looking up. And now we're going to come to sitting. Feel free to sit up on something if you wish. And we are going to take one more little balancing pose here. This time balancing on our sitting bones. So you can have the knees bent. Boat pose, everyone's favorite. So have knees bent and just find a moment just to connect with those roots of your sitting bones again. Keep the spine long, core engaged. Hands can come under the knees. You can even rest the hands behind you. So if you need a little extra support, please use the hands behind. And then play with finding that place of balance. And the knees can be bent, or you can extend the legs. And then you can reach, if it works for you, to release the oars of your boat, please do so. And set the gaze towards the toes, whether the legs are straight or whether the knees are bent. Lift the heart, soften the shoulders. Taking 2 more nice full deep breaths there, engaging through the core. End of your exhale. Release the feet back down to the floor and join the soles of the feet together, hands to the shins, draw the heels in towards you. Sit up tall on an inhale and exhale, bowing over the legs, over the feet. And you can use the arms to gently bring some pressure to the inner legs if that feels comfortable. Chin to the chest, just a couple more breaths. And then with your inhale, coming all the way back up to sitting. Let's repeat that. So bend those knees. Find your place of balance, maybe hands behind you or under those knees. Extend the arms. Set the gaze towards the toes. Full deep breaths. End of your next exhale, releasing the feet to the floor, and again finding Baddha Konasana, that butterfly pose here, heels drawing in as close as is comfortable. Lengthen up through the spine, sit up nice and tall, and on your exhale, bowing over the feet. Soften. Okay, just last couple of breaths. Releasing any holding through the shoulders and the back of the neck. And then on an inhale, coming back up to sitting. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us now. Still keep sitting up nice and tall. We're going to draw the left leg in. If you need to prop something under that right knee, please do so. Flex that right foot. Take a moment just at center. With an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And on your exhale, fold over that right leg. Taking hold of that right foot, maybe your hands can rest at the shin or on the floor. Inhale, lift the heart, look up halfway, and then exhale, fold over that right leg. Even, smooth, steady breaths. Last full deep round of breath there. And then moving on your inhale, looking up. We'll come out of this the same way we came into it, so extend the arms up overhead, and then take that left hand behind you, right hand to that left knee, and we'll find a little twist here. Keep sitting up tall, gazing over that left shoulder. Keep extending out through that right foot, through that right heel. End of your exhale, unwind, come back to center. Switching sides, left leg goes long. Support the knee if you need to. Draw that right foot in. Pause again, just find your center. Sit up tall. Lengthen through the front of the body as well as the back of the body. Inhale, arms extend. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lifting up halfway, and then exhale, folding over left leg. Even, smooth, steady breath. Last full deep round of breath there. Inhale, looking up. Extend those arms in front of you. Use the core to help you get there. Exhale, find your twist now to the right. Right hand supports you. Sit up tall. Gaze over right shoulder. End of your next exhale. Unwind. Come back to center. You can extend both legs and just shake out. And then we're going to come down onto our backs and hug the knees into the chest. We'll make some circles here with the knees so you can separate the legs as you pull the knees in towards you and rotate them around. And then change the direction of your circles, pushing the knees away from you, circling back around. Just a couple more times. Moving both directions, balancing out that opening through the hips. And then just hugging the knees into the chest. Releasing any holding through the lower back. And when you're ready, bring the soles of the feet down to the floor. Balance out through the hips, through the pelvis. From here, we're going to bring the right ankle just to rest on top of that left thigh, just over the knee. This may be where you stay, so we're coming into our sleeping pigeon pose, similar to what we did standing earlier. If you wish to lift that left leg up and hold on around the back of the thigh, please do so. Flex the feet, maybe even just gently rock side to side a few times here. A few more breaths. End of your next exhale. Release that left foot back down to the floor. And you're going to cross this right leg on top of the left. Extend the arms out to the side and drop your legs over to the left. And if this twist feels too deep, feel free to uncross the legs. And then turn the head to look over that right shoulder. Soften the right shoulder down into the earth. last couple of breaths. On your inhale, come back to center, uncross the legs, feet to the floor. Take a moment just to ground, finding center here. Left ankle comes up to rest on that right thigh. When you're ready, drawing that leg in towards you. Same thing, other side. Flex the feet. Sleeping pigeon. Last few breaths here on this side. End of your exhale, right foot to the floor. Crossing left leg on top of right. Find your twist, legs to the right. Possibly turn that head to the left. Soften that left shoulder down into the earth. Staying with the thread of your breath. Last round of breath there. Moving on an inhale, come back and find center. Uncross the legs. Maybe one more time, hug those knees into the chest. You may want to take a couple more of those little hip circles. Knees can move together or separately. And then take your time finding Shavasana this evening. So the knees can stay bent or extend the legs along the mat. And if you have a blanket handy, you may want to cover yourself up, or you may want to put a blanket under the head. And if you have something to cover your eyes, and that feels comfortable, place it over your eyes. And then just taking a few breaths here, really allowing the weight of the body to melt down into the earth. Softening there across the forehead and around the eyes, and releasing through the lower jaw. Allow the backs of the shoulders to just melt into the floor. Soften that space there at the upper back, and release across the collarbones. Soften down the arms from the shoulders to the elbows, and from the elbows down to the wrists. Relax through the palms, the fingers, the thumbs. And relaxing all the way down through the spine, allowing those muscles either side of your spine just to melt into the mat. Feel the breath gently moving at your rib cage and belly, and soften the rib cage, soften the belly. Release any gripping in your hips. Release down the legs. Soften from the thighs, backs of the thighs, the knees, the backs of the knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, the feet and the toes. And with each exhale, just allow yourself to find that place of surrender, just letting go. Balancing out the effort of our practice this evening. Finding that stillness, that silence that rests within. Receiving each inhale, following each exhale all the way out. Exhale is that chance just to release anything that no longer serves you. Releasing any busy thoughts. Releasing any stress, any holding tension in the body, letting it go. Staying here a few moments longer in the stillness. Last few moments here, sorry. Although maybe a few minutes, if it serves you to stay here, please stay here for as long as you need to. These last few moments, can you release and let go anywhere? Anything still holding on that you can soften? Let it go. Supported by the earth beneath you. So please, I invite you to stay here for as long as you wish. If it's time for you to move, then please slowly start inviting deeper breaths into your body. Wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Maybe extend the arms overhead and just get a nice reach from fingers to toes. In your own time, roll to one side. And gently push all the way back to sitting. Returning to where we began our practice this evening. With your next inhale, if you're sitting, please feel free to stay there in Shavasana. Sweep those arms overhead and exhale, gather the hands back to your heart, back to that gesture of offering, Anjali Mudra. And then bow the head to your heart, just looking, keeping that gaze turned inward. Honor yourself for making this time for your practice this evening. So thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that this practice finds you and keeps you safe and well. And I hope that through this practice you find a little more balance into the rest of your day or evening, and a greater sense of ease as you move off your mat. So I bow to you and namaste. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening if you're practicing with me live here. Have a beautiful day if this is finding you another time.